Hey, how's it going? You are here for Heavy Art Talk. As usual, it is your host, Lee, and I am back for 2026. Appreciate you guys with your patience and everything. I've been lining up a couple of guests, and this is one I've been wanting to have on the show for quite some time. So today, we're going to have Jack Jackal joining me. He is the creator of Castle Jackal magazine, which features a ton of really cool artists and illustrators. He also has done a lot of work for the Acacia strain. He's part of Dungeon Crawler Video, and then he also is a musician in Carnwinin. So a very busy person indeed. Without further ado, Jack, what's happening, man?
How you doing, Lee?
Doing good, dude. Go ahead. What were you about to say?
Oh no, I am a very busy person. You were describing it. I was like, oh yeah, I kind of do a lot, don't I? I'm thinking about just when you list it out like that in front of me. I'm like, yeah, okay.
It is a ton, man. So like, is it just kind of chaos, or do you have like a method to your madness in terms of juggling all these different projects?
There's definitely a pretty set schedule. I keep things as organized as I possibly can. I mean, don't get me wrong, like some things just end up getting pushed and whatnot. And, you know, plenty of people that I work with know that like, oh, it's going to take me another day, but I try really hard. And that is a thing, I think, like with all my creative endeavors, that like I do try to make sure that like I'm treating it I'll say I treat it like a job always. Yeah. Like it's just something I have to do. I got to fucking do it. That's just got to happen. So that's how I treat my band.
Part of it, you know, if you want to like put something out there, it's going to take a lot of work. So I think that's totally natural. It's just like the reward and the feeling of accomplishing something has to rise to the top to keep it going, you know?
Absolutely. And I mean, I will say that like I know that I finished something. Like I feel accomplished in knowing that a project is done. But for me, it's never done. Like I'm always just like, I could have done that better. So I got to do it again, different now. So that's part of like the motivation to do more, I guess, is like I know I could do this a different way, in a way that I like more, or like this part was off and next time I do something similar, I'm going to do it better. And
is that how you approach each issue of the magazine then?
Yeah, the magazine, I do feel like I've gained a sort of rhythm to it. There are always things that I wish I probably gave myself a little more time for, but like you said, I'm a very busy. I have a lot going on. So like sometimes, you know, and the magazine itself is, I usually keep space open for 30 plus different creators in there. So organizing all that stuff and making sure everything gets back to me. If there's like, especially with the writing stuff, if there's like edits and stuff like that, you get down to the wire. And then a few issues I was able to include, you know, some sort of like fake ads and stuff.
Nice.
Which is the whole impetus for like the magazine in the first place. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were just sort of talking about like going in like your older cousin's room or like your friend's older brother's room or something, and like finding some like old heavy metal or like thrasher mags and just like tearing through them and just like sitting there and just looking through all this weird old stuff. And that's what this became ultimately. It was just like, I just want to make something like that. And I'm also tired of scrolling past all my friends' great work, which is like the biggest issue for me. I think like it costs a lot to have prints made of your work, and so many of us work digitally now that a lot of the time, you know, I will see something that my friend made and I'll like hit a like button and I'll comment on it or I'll repost it or whatever, and then it'll go away. It'll be gone from my life in fucking 24 hours, unless I specifically go back to their page and just look at it, which feels weird. But you get like a magazine, and this is on your table. This is like in your house. This is something that
tangible now.
Yeah, friends come over and you say, "Oh, check this thing out. Like, here's a pile of stuff. Like, let's tear through these things and see what we can find." And the one thing that like was pretty important for me, because we do live online so much, is like every page with a new creator on it, there's like a QR code for you to like scan and like go find their work, which is cool, because I have a bunch of magazines from like the 90s that there's a ton of cool work in there, and there's like a scribbly signature, and I don't know who the hell that is. I still don't. I wish I did. I still have no idea who some of these artists are, and it's like I have like some like psychotronic video magazines, and they're mostly like video reviews and stuff like that, but there's just some insane weird doodles and drawings and reviews and ads for stuff that shouldn't exist probably, and they're cherished. I really like, I hold those like dear to me, because they're like a weird time capsule to when I was like a little kid. And it's something that I want to recreate in some way. So the magazine was that for me.
Man, like,
thank you.
From my perspective, I've been aware of the magazine a while, and I have a back issue from about a year ago, and it's just cool too, because like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Part of what I do here is to like highlight illustrators in my own work. You know what I mean? And then you're doing that and highlighting other things and providing that collective creativity through the magazine, which I just have a lot of respect and appreciation for. And
it's
friends of
thank
mine
you.
have been in your magazine. It's just really
cool. I mean, the really cool thing that I didn't expect, and maybe if I thought harder about it, I would have seen it coming. But I'll put out like a new issue or something, and I'll start seeing like two artists that were in the magazine together or something. Like now they're like following each other and interacting with each other and stuff. And like, that's so fucking cool. I did like a little like convention. I did an indie comic expo up in Glens Falls, New York. And I met this dude. I'm going to wreck his last name, but he's a great illustrator. Michael Falatico. He's been in a couple issues since. But I gave him an issue. We were talking. He gave me some of his stuff, and he was like, "Oh man, like I was reading one of these fantasy stories, and this dude Owen Clark, who's typically an adventure sports writer, he wrote a high fantasy story for one of the issues, and it's fucking so cool." And Michael really like, attached himself to it, and now they work together where he's illustrating chapters of this dude's story like every month or something like that, or maybe more frequently. And it's just super, super fun. Like just seeing those dudes just like interacting so much and doing their own project together. And it's because of that, I guess, but it's cool.
It's a catalyst for sure.
Yeah. It was really fun seeing that. So I'm happy about that kind of stuff for sure. And I also get to see a bunch of cool work that like I do an open call. So like it's just out there. So people send me all kinds of stuff. And every once in a while I have to like make like a really hard cut purely just for space, because I pay for this up front and like, it's tough sometimes. So like if anybody seeing this has sent me work and it hasn't gotten in there, it's not because I hate your work or anything, or I don't like you. It's purely because I can't fit all the really rad shit. So keep trying if it didn't make it. That's all.
So what are some things, like, you seem like a guy who has some like obsessions or collections. So like what would you say are like your top 3 like things that you're fanatical about?
I mean, I collect tapes. Like Dungeon Crawler Video is like me and Cam. We collect old VHS tapes. We digitize them. We try to preserve them. We, get good pictures or scans of the of like the covers, because like that's a big part of the tape experience for me is like the cover art. There's some like really crazy movies that have come and gone. Like, I was reading a statistic somewhere where it was like when VHS came out, like when home video first came out and through its like lifetime, there were something like 6,000 titles, something like that. Might have been way more than that. 60,000 titles that made it to home video. And then when they went to DVD, only 40,000. And then streaming, 20,000. And they keep cutting them, just because they can. Because they, so there's movies out there that have not made it to DVD or streaming ever. But the cover art, at the very least, if the movie's dog shit, like the cover art is still pretty sick half the time. Like there was a movie that I got called Satan's Supper. It was released under like 3 different names, and it is like a really good movie, but the cover art is the reason why I bought it. It's an insane painting. I don't know who did it. I can't find the artist. I'm sure if I looked hard enough, I could find their name, but I can't find any of their other work. And it's just really just cool stuff like that I love touching and holding and keeping in my house or in this studio and pretty much anywhere I can.
So how are you hunting some of these rare VHSs down?
I mean, at this point, I've made a lot of friends that, will shoot me a text and be like, "Yo, you want this?" And
network, yeah.
Yeah, and Cam and I both will like hunt stuff on eBay and other like websites and stuff like that. And there's Facebook Marketplace also, and that's not really for me. But there's always like a ton of little tiny shops that have like a bin of VHS tapes at this point, And I would like to say that I like to collect records too, purely for the art of it all as well. But like, I'd buy records from like my friends and maybe records that I like helped work on and stuff like that, or something that's just really sick that like is like a timeless thing. Like one of my favorite records that came out, I think it was 2 years ago now, is that Full of Hell and Nothing collaborative thing about 9/11. It was so cool, but like the actual like gatefold thingy that Closed Casket put out, that was like it's all like assembled really weird. There's like punch out pieces on the like for the record sleeve and stuff, and it's just a really intense physical media thing. And like it's in my office. Like I don't play it because I will just listen to it elsewhere, but yeah, I need it. I want to have it. I want to make sure, like every once in a while I'll like take it out and like this didn't get fucked up somehow, right? Like I didn't like ding the record, because it's just like important that it exists for me. The other thing, I guess I'll say I collect like dumb toys. Okay. Like nothing that's like worth anything, but like it's worth something to me. Like I love like stupid little trinkets and toys. Like I still have all my like Ninja Turtles from when I was a kid, and just I have toys from things that I don't even know what they are. I want to say that like I have a toy from the movie Congo, but every time I look at it, I'm like, that's not from Congo. That's some other dumb fucking movie. I don't know where I got it.
Stories about Congo, man.
What? Yeah? What does that mean?
All right, so
yeah.
It's a family tradition on my in-laws' side that every Christmas Eve we watch Congo. So I've seen that movie like about 12 times.
Yeah.
And it's like a very expensive fever dream. Like, dude, so much money got poured into that movie, but it's terrible. I mean, it's barely coherent. They obviously bastardized, the Crichton novel. I'm sure I haven't read it, but like everything is just rushed and it's got that stupid '90s humor, where it's like kind of funny, but also not really funny at all. It's just like about the one-liner with the sesame cake and shit. Yeah, dude, I know.
Yo, Dungeon Crawler hosted a night at a local bar. No fun. They're like the local rock and roll spot that you got to go to if you're anywhere near up here. They do a lot of weird stuff and it's really cool, but they do like a VHS night. And it's always a double feature. And we hosted one and it was Congo and Arachnophobia.
Okay.
And when like right before he says the sesame cake line, Cam baked some sesame cake and I went out and brought it to everybody. And some people had never seen the movie before and they already had the sesame cake in their hands. I was proud of myself.
We tried baking sesame cake one year. Dude, it was so fucking dry. It was terrible.
This was really good. He did a great job.
Dude. Just like breaking apart in my hand.
I think I love anything with Tim Curry in it. Purely for him. Like I'm just stoked. Like one of my favorite movies, and this is actually an excellent movie, but Muppet Treasure Island is a huge one for me. And so I think he was just like such a big part of my childhood that I don't think he can do any wrong. At least cinematically. And again, like I also, collection wise, I collect like weird books and magazines, like wherever I can get them. I've gotten a lot of really great gifts over the years of like some really cool books that like I'm afraid to touch, but like I want to so bad. And it's like kind of I got a first edition of like collection of Ray Bradbury short stories. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm
and like the book collecting train right now too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are you after?
Vintage sci-fi mainly.
Yeah. So that's right up your alley then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
60s, 70s, and 80s sci-fi particularly.
Mm-hmm. That stuff is so fun, and I think a big thing is that like I love reading sci-fi, and it's so funny. Like looking back, we always make the joke about like, oh, this is the year we're supposed to have like flying cars, and like this is whatever year it is now. Like we just went through the Total Recall year or something. But it's always a joke that like we're supposed to be mining stuff on Mars or doing whatever that we're supposed to be doing, and we're dealing with whatever's happening outside, and it sucks. Have you ever read The Running Man?
I haven't.
I'm a very big Stephen King fan.
Stephen King, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, he wrote it under Bachman.
Okay.
Sorry. You grab me that poster up there? We made a Stephen King checklist poster of all of his stuff. Yeah, I screen printed it myself. I designed it and screen printed it myself, and it's a checklist that's almost entirely, thank you, up to date. But so this is the Constant Reader Compendium. So it's everything. It's all the movies and TV, and then all the written stuff here. Excluding some of the stuff like, I have a Playboy or two at home that he did an interview or wrote something small in, but otherwise it's all here. But so The Running Man was technically a Richard Bachman, and it's set in the future and everything, and the concept's really cool, and it's kind of relevant. It's like, oh, people are just like doing horrible things for money. They're essentially just degrading themselves just to survive, and nobody can take care of themselves, and healthcare is insanely expensive, and so we just like work garbage jobs and can't survive otherwise. But even in like the 2020s, they're still using VHS tapes in this book. And like it's a huge component of the story. And like the one thing about sci-fi back then is like nobody anticipated the phones Like nobody really anticipated how much like a little phone is going to rule our life the way that it does now.
A few people did, but most didn't.
Yeah, it's just not a prevalent theme of like we think about flying cars and being on Mars and stuff like that. We don't think about like how logged into everything we really are, or at least most of the prominent writers.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. All right, here I got a little game. So
okay.
Trying to think, tell me an underrated Stephen King novel, story, or movie adaptation, and then I'll tell you one on my end. But you go first.
Ooh, an adaptation.
Yeah, so like it could be like like the made for TV like miniseries stuff.
I mean, I really did. So I'll say this: Graveyard Shift is horrible. I'm just I just started thinking about the adaptations, and Graveyard Shift was so fun but so bad. This is tough because I'll say that like the good ones are good. Like Christine is really good. Carrie is really good. Maximum Overdrive is the only one that he directed himself, and I don't think he remembered that. Maximum Overdrive. The short story was Trucks. It's called Trucks, and I think it's in Skeleton Crew.
No,
or maybe
Crew now.
Oh, it might be in Night Shift then.
Night Shift.
But the story's called Trucks, and it's about like a comet passes over the Earth, and we like pass into its trail, and all the machines become sentient. But it mostly deals with like trucks and cars. Cool. Like, but they get really mad at like they like corral people into a gas station and are just like, give me gasoline, and they're honking at it's very bizarre. Emilio Estevez is in it. Okay. And there is an ad. I hope you can find the picture and put this picture here. But there's Stephen King like does like a little ad for it in front of like a toy truck, and he's so high. He's so unbelievably fucked up. His pupils are just, it's so funny. He's just so gone, and you can just see it in his eyes. It's very funny, but it's a fun movie. I'll say that. Right, like check that out. Underrated because it's just too fun not to, and also knowing all that other stuff, knowing how high he was, and also. AC/DC did the entire soundtrack.
Oh, really?
Like the whole soundtrack is, and Stephen King has a cameo right in the beginning when all the technology comes to life, and he's dressed like an asshole, and he's dressed like an asshole, and the ATM calls him an asshole, and he exclaims about it, and it cuts away, but it's very fun. All right, what's yours?
All right, so. I'll go with one. The Langoliers.
I never saw that.
Dude, you are fucking missing out. First of all, it's on YouTube. It's a bad rip, but you gotta watch it.
If it's on YouTube, yeah.
It's funny. So it's like a TV series, mini series.
Okay.
Have you read the book at all? Or not
when
the
I
book,
was
the
like,
novella?
Yeah, when I was like a kid, I was like just running through stuff, and I read that and Tommy Knockers like back to back, and they blend together.
Yeah, Langoliers is cool. So I'd say just watch the series, but the novella is really good too. But there's some funny moments in it, man.
Yeah,
maybe I'll put a couple pictures up.
Yeah,
like, it's one of those stories that like I kind of never forget about. And then it's like a recurring joke with my wife of just like the Langoliers, because they're like these weird. Basically, they're like these creatures that eat away the past if you're like a time traveler, and they look like meatballs with teeth, and they're just running through the sky.
Oh, that's awesome!
Basically. So yeah,
that's so fun.
You gotta watch it.
Well, I mean, I think that's like a big part of his work for me is that like he comes up with really crazy ideas. He comes up with really like it's hard
in that way. They both are like really good idea. Right?
I got some shit to talk about that man. I like Philip K. Dick quite a bit, but I don't know if I care for his writing. It's extremely dry.
Yeah, good idea person, not the best writer.
Yeah, I read Radio Free Albemuth like not long ago, and like he really just had to, because he's the main character in that, and he gets himself into some predicaments. He does, and you're just like, man, you did not have to write you interacting with this teenager the way that you did, you weirdo.
I mean, have you read any of like his really good stuff?
I read Man in the High Castle.
Okay.
And that was it. I did those two, and I was like, okay, I get it.
Story collections are really good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna know it. Short story writer.
What was I gonna say about Stephen? I
King.
Stephen King. So there was like, did you ever read The Shining?
No, it's on my TBR.
It's great. But like a big part of it is like the hedge animals, like the topiary animals that are outside this thing. And they play a huge part in the terror that exists around this hotel. But like, I completely understand why they cut that part out of the original movie, because it's hard to make like topiary animals seem actually scary on film. Like it's a task to do something like that. And I can see like, yeah, when you're reading a book and like a bush is chasing you, it's like scary because you can make it scary that way. But I'm not going to be watching a movie getting scared of a bush. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I can see that. Let's shift back a little bit to you.
Sure. Okay.
We could probably talk about pop culture related things probably the entire
all day.
Yeah. So you're a musician as well. Like, what kind of came first? Like visual art, music, like kind of what was, I don't know, like childhood into adolescence in terms of exploring creativity. What was that like?
I mean, I was lucky enough to have both, music and art like encouraged when I was a kid. So my mom was a school teacher, and she had a little piano like in her room, and she also had tons of art supplies because she was a grade school teacher, elementary school teacher. So like I had just access to both, like even when I was like a little kid, like a very little kid, like when I was in like daycare and stuff, I'd get dropped off at her classroom, and I'd have a couple hours while she was doing lesson plans and stuff to do one or the other. I would just either draw or I would just poke around on the piano and stuff. And she was never mad that I was banging on the piano, which was great. As long as I played softly enough for her. Both of them happened at the same time. Like, I guess I'll say, like, I've been doing both since I was very, very young. And it was always encouraged, which is great. The music stuff definitely like took hold for a longer period of time, while the art stuff like took a back seat. When I was in like high school, I was always drawing. I was always taking extracurricular art stuff, and like, if there were any like electives or whatever in my high school, I was doing that. And then I went to college, and I hated every class that I took. And I started college when I was 17, and I hated I hated everything. I hated the world. I didn't want anything to do with any of the shit that they were telling me. I think I was like, also like very, I really want to like just do fine art. Like I just want to draw, with, pens or pencils, and that's it. Like, I don't want to deal with computers. I don't want to do any of this typical graphic design stuff. I don't want to take a class on typography or any of that stuff. And this is all stuff that I do now all the time. This is man, don't I love scrolling fonts? I will do that all fucking day. I'll just look at different typefaces, and it's therapeutic. But it's like a thing now. I do that.
I'm on that phase too,
dude. And one thing, and like, you know, people who do it enough will know, like, eventually, like, you keep looking at the same word in a different, you know, font, and you start wondering, like, is this word even spelled right? Is this even a fucking word anymore? Like, I don't even know, like, this is wrong somehow, because it doesn't look like a word. And so I dropped out. Like, I tried to change majors or whatever, and I bailed on school altogether eventually. And I just stopped drawing. I was like very discouraged. I just stopped, I went and started doing landscaping and building houses and shit like that. And the most time I would get drawing is doodling some dumb comic about my coworkers or something like that. And I went to go see a band. I don't know if you remember. They're playing some shows recently. This band called Bear versus Shark. They were on Equal Vision. They were on Equal Vision Records, who I work with or for now. And they were just like a band that a good friend of mine and I like met at one of their shows when we were kids. And so they did like some 10-year anniversary show or something, and she got us tickets. So we went down, and I was just having a great time, and I was jumping around, and I stage dove a bunch, and I hurt myself. Like, I hurt my back real bad, and I had to like stay at their house in Jersey for like 2 days, and because I just couldn't get in my car and drive away. And so I was like laid up on their couch, and I spent a lot of time just doodling. And they were very like, they were like, wow, like everybody that I was with was just like, everybody was like, oh, this is great. Like, why don't you do this more? And I just kept doing it. I did it like it's been like 10, 12 years since that. And I just draw every day. I have to. And that's literally what it's been like. I just like, everybody in my life is like, you should keep doing this. And they've been very encouraging, and I do. I just treat it that way. I'm just like, oh, I should be doing this every day and get better at it. And that's it.
And your back recovered fairly quickly? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that part was addressed too.
Oh, with my back?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was so long ago. Yeah, I'm good.
That passed. Okay.
I'm still stage diving.
Sick.
I shouldn't. I'm 30. I'm going to be 36 this year. I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, we're similar age. I just kind of stand on the edge of the mosh pit, and, like supervise, the kids, I guess.
I'm also like quite short, so either I have to be up front or I have to be all the way in the back, so I can see, like, But yeah, I just. I've played music all through all that. I've been in a bunch of different bands. Carnwennen is like a doom thing, and I used to play in like hardcore and punk stuff. And early in the pandemic, I was like, man, maybe I should see if I can like hold a note for a really long time and feel comfortable doing that. Because I used to be in all these bands where we were just moving around like so much and playing as fast as I could. And I've always loved stuff like stuff that Dylan Carlson does, or like Sun and Sleep and like that kind of stuff, and Primitive Man. And it was like a task for me to try and like sit down and write something slow that I like the way it sounds, and I don't feel like I need to move away from it so quickly. And we've been doing it for a few years now, and it's fun. no complaints. I have a blast doing it. We have practice tomorrow, and I'm excited to write more.
That's awesome, man. How often do you guys practice?
Every week, if we can. Right now, our drummer is Chrissy Marash, who's in Escuela Grind.
Okay.
Her girlfriend, Ash, her name's Alex Ashpond, and there's 2 Alexes in the band, so I call her Ash. It just helps. So they're always riffing together and doing stuff. But when Chrissy goes on to Chrissy's a more recent addition to the band. So when she goes on tour, I don't know, we'll write or something. But right now we're trying to get as many in as we can.
Nice, man. Yeah. What are some of the like favorite albums that you've listened to recently? Like they could have come out in 2025, or it's just like what's your current music for the month, I guess.
Oh no! See, right now I've been listening to just honestly the thing that's probably my most listened to thing right now is the soundtrack to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Like I've just had that on repeat. It's good for when I'm working. Like there's no, I listen to a lot of stuff that doesn't have words, so I can write emails or do stuff like that and focus. So if I'm not listening to something like that, like a soundtrack or, something like Earth, it's typically, honestly, I think I listened to that most recent Jarhead Fertilizer album, Carceral Warfare. So good. Those dudes are so good. Dave Bland is such a good drummer, and he's crazy to see live. And then he's also doing vocals.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how? It's always mind blowing. I just saw it. They and that new Full of Hell album's great too. The newest one that just came out. But they just played
on Closed. They released so much material. I'm trying to.
I believe it's on Closed Casket, which is another local label. Okay. Justin's a local guy here. And
so it's the Coagulated Bliss, right?
I think so. I think that's what it's called.
Great record.
Both those bands just played. There's like a fest that the Acacia Strain put on. And the Acacia Strain just put out an album that was great. That just came out. Yeah. Those dudes keep writing stuff that I like more and more, like every time. And like I'll talk with Vincent or I'll talk with Mike and Devin too. Like they're like, yo, we just wrote a song that was like 12 minutes long. I'm like, hell yeah, this is what I want to hear. I fucking love that shit, man. But yeah, all 3 of those bands just played Tune Low, Die Slow, which I did. I've done both the poster art for back to back.
Frazetta homage, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Vincent asked me to do that, and I was so stoked. I was just like, man, I get to do that. Like that was and it was like a challenge for me because I wanted it to. I was doing all the paint stroke. Every paint stroke was. I was like, is this how Frazetta would do it? And it's not. It's fucking not. I know that. Like I'm very aware.
Try, yeah.
Yeah, but like, and I had a lot of fun doing it, but like it feels weird trying to emulate a style like that and know that you're doing it. But then I look at everything that I've ever done and I'm like, yeah, I see other great artists and I'm like, man, maybe if I maybe if I worked stipple and crosshatch in the same thing, maybe that'll be cool. Like, or I see my phone is just filled with color palette screenshots of like dumb shit, like ads that I get or something. I'm like, man, look at these colors together. This is so cool. Like I want to do something like that. And then I mean, a big part of the reason why I started working digitally is just so I could color stuff because I can't decide on colors. Yeah, I can't. I hate that. And I just posted something. It was just like a doodle that I did, but I put this thing up and there's 3 different colorways in there purely just because I couldn't decide. I just don't. I'm not happy with any of them, and I'm happy with all of them at the same time.
It just makes it harder in some ways. I mean, so I guess it's like, yeah, you can't commit, but once you commit, if you're doing it traditionally, you just that's the version. You know what I mean?
I've been like forcing myself to do more traditional work, just for the love of it, and also because like I work in Procreate mostly.
Okay.
I love Procreate. It's such a it's a versatile program. Every single person that I've spoken to about that program uses it differently. And it's like I'm just like, oh, I never even thought to do that. Or I'm just like, you don't know about this? This is so cool. Also, the best, if there's any Procreate users watching this, like fucking True Grit Texture Supply. They make the best shit I've ever used. That stuff is crazy. Like just how
download the packs and then it goes into Procreate. That because I've seen the advertisements for them.
Okay. The brush packs they do. They have one that I use constantly called Monomania, and it's just like markers. Like it's just like, but they're markers that are dying. They're microns. They're Sharpies. There's wedge tips. But like a lot of companies making brush packs like that. Because Procreate and the Apple Pencil is reactive to pressure, right? So a lot of the time, most of the other brush packs that I get, I'll start light and I'll move in, and it just varies in opacity, the line. But True Grit, it varies in like grain. Okay. And they have it down that it really feels like you're using, a marker, because growing up, I was always doodling with like dumb markers and Sharpies, and half of them were mostly used up because I was getting them from my mom's like school supply bin of stuff that she doesn't want to use anymore. And yeah, it feels great. It looks, that's the other thing is like, I want everything that I make to look like it's been in somebody's pocket or something for like too long. So like after I'm done doing something clean, I just like scuff it up. I take all these different things and I, run it through a whole guillotine of things. And, now I forgot where I was going with that completely. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. So,
I was talking about working traditionally. Yeah. Where like I've been every night now, I'm just like, I'm working on like a little piece, and I will like, I think I sent you a picture of it actually. It's like right now it's just like a dude in like a little tank, like kind of crucified up in the, I've just been using just a mechanical pencil. I bought myself like a new little easel for it, and I just like sit at my desk, and that guy right there, not the guy on the left, not the, but yeah, I've just been sitting down and just doing it. And the thing about working that way is that you can't, like in Procreate, you can zoom in, like you can just pull that thing open and just like get in there and every pixel be the way that you want it to if you choose. But like you can't do that with a pencil or a pen or anything like that. You just can't. And you have to make a decision and just fucking deal with it. And there's only so much erasing you can do. Eventually you're just like, well, this is how small this pencil tip is, and it's not going to get any smaller. It's not going to do what I want it to do. I'm just going to this is what the line looks like. And it feels good. It genuinely like is comforting to me in a way, because I some of that control is out of my hands.
I mean, it's the way I operate. So everything has has stakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I only work traditionally. Not
that's like you're a strong man. No.
it's just the way I do things.
Yeah.
And part of it is just my own ignorance. I mean, I know how to use Procreate, but like I only use it for like mock-ups or like finishing touch things, but even then I don't really. But like to actually draw something from start to finish, I've actually never done. So like me being like I only do traditionally, I mean, part of it is from a place of I don't really know how to do it well. You know what I mean? So it's not even like I'm good at both and I choose to do traditionally. It's like, no, just know how to do traditionally?
So I was very steadfast in that. Like, I was just like, man, I don't understand the computer stuff. Like, I don't understand working digitally. Like, why would you? And very good friend of mine, Abby Saunders, who's a tattoo artist up in Saratoga. She's been in every issue of the magazine. She turned me on to Procreate, and she was just like, this is what I use when I have to like do quick work for tattoos and stuff. And I had already like started doing work for bands at the time. Like, I think the first time when I got hooked up with the Acacia strain, I was still like, I was drawing stuff on paper. I would fuck it up and I would have to start all over again. And I would fuck it up and I would have to start all over again. And I would like scan it and I would bring it into Adobe Illustrator and I would color it that way. And it was just like, it was just a very time consuming and frustrating process for me. And I think I was getting tattooed by Abby at some point, and she and I were I was telling her about that, and I was like, oh, I'm really stoked. I'm like working with these guys. And the logo that you see them touring with now, with like the barbed wire that goes around their name, I drew that by hand, and that was like one of the first things I did for them. And I see it and I'm like, oh man, like I remember, like I scanned, like I probably still have that. It was like a piece of like printer paper that I drew that thing on. And I'm sure I still have it somewhere. But she was like, you know, you work a lot faster. And, you know, if you use Procreate, like I do this every day and I'm just banging stuff out, like it would change your life. And it definitely has. Like, using Procreate has changed the way I work. It's changed my life in general. And it's opened up a lot of doors for me to just be able to, I guess, like switch styles a lot too. Like the way I want, you know, like, cause one thing about like doing graphic design professionally or semi-professionally or whatever, and you know, going from illustration to design, and I work at a print shop, so like everybody's asking for different type of stuff, you know. So I sometimes don't have time to like teach myself how to like do gouache or whatever. Like it's like, and you know what I mean? Like, but I know that like somebody's looking for like this type of aesthetic or whatever. I'm like, all right, well, I know I can like, without like fucking up a bunch of canvas and paper right now, like I can dive into at least like stylistically how I want to approach this thing and try to execute something new for me, maybe something that somebody's asking me to do. And so like using a program like Procreate has like really helped me just move into that and do all kinds of very weird stuff that I never thought I'd be doing at all. Like stuff that I never even thought like, oh, this might be fun. Like I just never considered it, you know? And
well, I think you're highlighting one of the big advantages of it is versatility.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like I've spoken at length about, you know, it's nice to have an undo button, right? But like,
oh yeah,
it's not even just that. What you're highlighting is like, this client wants this exact look. Well, I might not be proficient in that medium, but I know how to make it look good at digital, which is really cool and very valuable. You know?
I mean, it's definitely valuable to me, and like obviously, like, you know, I'm at the right now. I'm in the Albany Barn, which is like an artist studio space in downtown Albany, and there's like outside this room, there's a bunch of people that like work traditionally all the time in very specific styles that I could not possibly like do. Like I couldn't do it the way that they do it. And I'm very aware of that, like highly aware of that. And so like, sometimes I'm just like, oh man, like I'm to a certain degree, like with certain styles at the very least, like, oh, I'm kind of faking it here. And I understand that, but also like, sometimes I just like, I'm trying to like bring some, you know, if it's not for a client and just for me at the very least, like I'm just trying to bring something to the surface that I'm like trying to just get out. Because sometimes, I mean, you probably know this, like you just get a thing in your head and you're like, I got to get this. I got to draw it. I got to do it. I just got to, you know, like when my job wasn't doing this kind of stuff, and I was like working the front desk at a landscaping place in the winter, selling trees or something, I was just drawing all the time. I was just trying to get an idea out. Nobody was coming in for those trees. No, you know, I was bored, you know. So it's definitely helped, but I don't want to lose the traditional feeling. And you know, that's a scary thought for me to like try to pick up a pen and be like, how the like. There was a point. This is years ago now, but I was drawing something and I kind of fucked it up a little bit, and I like tapped it the way you would tap your. And I was like, oh no, this is horrible. This is the worst thing. This is sci-fi. This is the stuff they warned us about, and I fucking freaked out and put my shit down.
That's funny.
Done.
Yeah. What are there any areas of your visual art that you're looking to explore this year?
Ooh, I mean, I definitely do want to work more traditionally, as I was saying, but I like the dungeon crawler. Like we're doing a lot more like video work type stuff, and I want to get more into that and doing animation. Actually working on a fun animation for a very fun friend of mine right now that hopefully we'll be seeing in the next couple months. But animation is definitely a thing that I'm trying to get into. And this has been on my list for a long time. But a friend of mine, Christian Meyer, who runs Goldenrod Studio, we've been talking about like making some kind of like maybe like a side scroller game of some kind where like I design it and he, you know, I design all the little pieces and parts and he puts it into motion and makes it happen. And that's something that I've really wanted to do for years now. And, you know, he and I get busy and we try to tackle it when we can, if we can, but especially now that I'm working more on animation stuff, that's a thing that I want to like keep in mind and think about a lot. But last year, for Halloween, I did a lot of graphic work for House of Yes in New York City, and they're like a collective that like puts on weird shows, and they did this thing called the Vampire Ball, and it was they were like linked up with the official like New York City Halloween parade. And so it was like the after party of that. And they had like all these different rooms, and I designed the flyers for each room. So it would have like a bunch of DJs and like the general vibe. Like they had a blood rave, like in Blade.
Okay.
It was really cool. I got to see it before it all like went up. And, but we also, Cam, the other half at Dungeon Crawler, we did a bunch of video work for a couple of the rooms where we just did these like crazy video collages of just like a couple hours worth for each room of just like intense stuff. And I want to
like
put
a projector basically.
Yeah. So like we had this, I'm trying to think of the name of the building that it was in. It's some warehouse down in Brooklyn. What was it called? Sorry. No, something city. Sorry. But, so they had like a big open courtyard on Halloween night. And so they had 3 projectors going there, all like on each wall was like a different projection. And then indoors they had another one that was going like just running on a loop, but it was like hours of footage. So like chances are you're not seeing the same thing twice, unless you're just watching that and nothing else. And it was a lot of fun to work on, but I want to do more stuff like that. I mean, hopefully I work with them again this year for it, because I know they're doing it again. And I would like to put animation in there, like do more of my own work and not just pulling from like tapes and stuff like that. Because we just pulled from like our stock of like video footage that we have, and like all these tape rips that we've done and stuff like that. And that was really, really fun.
Something that I've noticed doing this show and stuff, and I mean, what I'm about to say isn't like, ooh, you're saying something like really fucking mind blowing. No, it's just it's cool to be in the moment of. It's like there's a lot of people that I've interviewed and talked with, and they remind me of you, where it's like everything can be a source of creativity. And then there's other people that are a little more like how I view it, where it's like, I do this one thing and I just want to keep getting better at it. It's a little, I don't find it limiting though, but I would never think to like get interested in animation or really anything video beyond the iMovie shit I pull together for this. But like, I just, it's so interesting how people take that need to be creative in different avenues. And like, you remind me in terms of your wide interests with people like Hayden Hall, who I've had on the show, Six Slice, who he does like the claymation stuff, but he also is a painter, and he's also into VHS too. You guys should hit it off. But so like, it's just cool that there's like these different groups of like how people perceive art, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm always like, I am genuinely like just trying to like have as much fun as possible all the time. That's you know,
wearing that shirt, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, this is a very fun place. I also like, admittedly, I designed this shirt, so I'm you know, I wore this to work today, and I was like, I don't have enough time. I'm not going to change. I'm just going to wear this shirt. I like this shirt. But this is the people who run this club are also friends of mine, so I love No Fun. But I genuinely like, I'm just like, man, like this could be, how can I make this thing more fun? Like, how can I like just there's an opportunity here to just like do more with this or that, you know? And it's I wasn't always like that. I think I got like some kind of complex when I turned 25. And I was like, time's running out. I got to do more. I got to do more stuff. And I'm having fun doing it. Genuinely. Like my schedule is a wreck, but I'm having a lot of fun. And if it's not fun, I don't do it. That's not true. I do a bunch of shit that I fucking hate all the time. And it's totally just like, I get through it. And
backstage about the actually putting together the layouts for the zine, the magazine is
oh yeah. But to be fair, the zine itself is very fun. The magazine is a blast. The thing I hate the most is Adobe InDesign. And whoever laid that program out, I'd love to have a calm conversation with them and ask them a lot of why. But it is one of the most frustrating fucking things I have to deal with on a regular basis. And I can't stand that program. I hate it so much. Again, my friend Christian from Goldenrod Studio, he gave me a template to use that I can, like, most of the time I can just drag and drop a rich text into there, and it gives me a general layout for how to get a story working. And sometimes I really have to like sit there for likely way too long editing something and getting everything to sit right. And I'm sure if Christian was over my shoulder, like looking at it, he'd be like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing it that way? But most of the time I'm doing that at like 3 a.m. and I'm not going to ask him for help. Because the magazine is supposed to come out the next day or something, you know, but like, that's how it always goes. And I do have fun doing that. And there is like definitely an element of fun to being in a rush and being in crunch time and seeing if you can get it done. So while yes, it is really fucking frustrating and I hate it. I love the end result and I love that I got it done and I'm happy about that. And I have a fucking stack of things. I have a stack of these.
Those?
Oh, I'll show you all of them, dude.
Yeah, I want to.
They're mostly in order. Issue 1. This is the first one. This is these. So these are all friends of mine. Like I didn't do an open call for this one. I did.
Wrong button.
Oops, wrong button.
I'm trying to get you here, and I'm seriously blanking on how to.
Hey, aren't we all? These are all people like friends of mine that. Yeah, I didn't do an open call for this one. I was like, hey, do you want to do this project with me? I know you. I know your art. I respect you. Like, can we do this together? And, these are some of my best friends on the back of this, and it's great. And I had a blast doing this. I did like a little comic in here with my buddy Joey. One of the things I don't usually have enough time for that I loved doing in this issue and like one other one was I asked all of my friends to like give me a picture of their favorite Halloween costume that they've ever been in and tell me like a story about Halloween. So like we got like a little send me your picture and tell me a little story at the end of the thing there. I think this was only like 40 or 50 pages total. And now we're at like 80 because I can't keep like I just keep receiving like really cool work. And I'm just like, man, I guess the page count's going up. Like that's just what it's going to be. And then let's see. Issue 2, this is my first open call. And in every issue, I pretty much always include a photo of myself. Matt Hugaboom took this photo. My friend Jenna Z took this photo. There's another Jenna photo here. This is issue 3. But one thing that I always do, this is issue 4, is I design all the front covers and I always do the centerfolds. And I always do like the little, I always like write a little note on the inside and I do like a little, little thanks to all the people here. And the inside covers is another thing I wanted to highlight, but the inside covers here are always my very, very good friend, Alex Waters, who is another member at the barn here where I am. But he does these paintings, these just like incredibly abstract, disgusting, weird paintings. I don't know how he does them. I could not replicate this if I tried. And he's got it down. He's got this style down, and he's just so good. And he's just always churning them out. His room downstairs is just filled with canvases like that, and they're all great. Like there is not a single one where I'm like, that one kind of sucks. Like they're all fucking genuinely. He's also the bassist in Carnwinen, so I get to see him and his work a lot. If you ever check out Carnwinen, the album cover of the LP that we put out a couple of years ago, that's one of his pieces. And then for Halloween, we also did a 9 Inch Nails cover of Reptile, and he did that as well. I was like, here's this 9 Inch Nails album cover, do it the way you would do it. And that's what that was.
This is the issue I have.
No, this one, 5. Yeah, this one has a lot of really fun stuff. Also, a few of these issues, I think I have like a total of like 5 short stories throughout all these, but I believe this one has a short story of mine in there. Oh, and an ad for Carnwinen.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I don't know if that counts as nepotism since it's me, but
part on it.
Yeah. This one, I made this into like a poster at some point when this one came out. And this was a lot of fun because this is this is me trying a new style personally. Okay. Like I was using again, this is digital, but I was like watery marker type things and like doing some like watercolor type stuff and I've always like doing crosshatchy type of thing, but Yeah, stuff like that. This one was a blast to do. This one was like Norman Rockwell, and then some other dude did another homage to him. It wasn't Bernie Wrightson. I can't remember the dude's name, but he did more a sketchy style, like homage to Rockwell, and I loved it, and I latched onto it. I was like, I'm gonna do that, but for me. And so there's like a little me looking in my in the mirror there. And I promise not all these are just going to be portraits of me, but this is issue 8. This one was also like a lot of fun to work on. And the thing is like these just keep getting fatter. And then this one was a blast. I made this into a poster, actually.
Yeah, I love that illustration, man.
It was so fun. It was a lot of fun to do. And I had like a completely different thing up until like probably like the week before that magazine was like set to print. I had a completely different thing set to, and I was like working on it, and I kept just adding more and hating it and just being like, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. And then I sat down on like a Saturday and just banged that out. And I was like, this is it. This is the thing that I want to do now. Alternatively, this thing is exactly what I wanted it to be. And this is issue 10. This is the most recent one. And I was like, yep, this is what I want. And I did it. And it's one of the, I mean, it's never going to look the way it does up here, which I'm sure you know. Nothing ever does. And I'm never satisfied with anything that I do. But close enough. It's laid out the right way. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Favorites, for sure.
Thank you. I think I'm getting tired of outlining things the way that I outline them. Like some of my line work is like too heavy, where it's like that's like the thing now for me. I'm just like, I need to like soften everything. Like I can't be doing everything like very cartoony and outlining every single thing. Like I need to pull back on that. I was gifted. Actually, Cam gave it to me, but it was for my birthday. A Frankenstein, Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein, like the,
oh yeah,
and man,
one of the best sources of pen and ink ever done.
Dude, you know? But I have a poster of it too, of like the cover
right there. It's in pink, but that's a Frankenstein print.
Oh, nice. Is it the one where he's like grabbing him? It's
just his face. And there's like some really nice like diagonal strokes. Like he did it.
Dude. But like I have the cover of it where he's like grabbing him in the lab, which you know, and it's a huge poster, and it is like it's so intense. But he's just playing with light. That's all he's doing, and it's such an inspiring thing because he's like a master of light and shadow. He's just it's humbling. Every time I walk into my office, I'm looking at that and just being like, holy shit, man. Like, and the other thing I'll say about that is like, when you look at his strokes, a lot of them seem like, yeah, I'll just do it like this. Like a lot of them don't seem the way I would look at it of like, this better be fucking right, you know?
And Frazetta, man. They both like make it look effortless.
Yeah. And
other artists, but those are the two that I always go back to in terms of just, they make it look so easy.
Yeah. And you look at those strokes, like there is a point for me where I'll just be going along doing stuff. Like you pulled up like a little photo earlier of like this, like little vampire guy that I drew with like a pencil.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was stoked on that. Like, I was like, oh, cool. Like this is like a little doodle I did. And then I recreated that like later in Procreate, and I kind of hated it. Like I liked it enough and I like wanted to complete it. But that drawing was like, I was just having fun, and I kind of didn't care about where my pencil went here and there. And then when I sat down and I was like, I'm going to really fucking do this and like care really hard about this, it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. And
it's the way it is sometimes,
dude, it's crushing sometimes. It's like to my confidence. Sometimes I'm just like, man, what is wrong with me? And maybe that's just the way I have to be sometimes, is I have to just really not care. But when I look at a lot of Wrightson's work, there's a lot of lines in there that are not precise, and they're not straight, or they don't fit that fucking, I'm thinking again of that picture of Frankenstein and the monster in the lab.
Yeah.
And he's got all these like glass beakers around.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so many beakers. There's so much glass in that fucking photo. There's so many. And like he's not hitting, like each line is not hitting the curvature of that beaker correctly every time. Like it's not. There's a bunch of straight lines in there, but it's still a masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. And he's just
yeah. Well, I think like so much of it is, I think sometimes artists, they forget the importance of just like really good core drawings.
Yeah.
And then the rendering doesn't matter as much. I mean, you have to think about value and light and shadow like you're talking about, but like, if you were to spend like 5 hours just working on like anatomical drawings versus 5 hours just back and forth rendering something, I mean, what is really more valuable time in terms of getting better, and probably the outcome of the piece, the drawing time?
Yeah.
Not to go on my like fucking academic.
Oh, no. I completely agree with you.
I think of how many hours I wasted just rendering things like it's like torturous. Like I could have just used that time to, I don't know, just draw. Yeah.
I mean, there are some times where I'm like, I'm just going to sit down and like doodle this thing. This isn't exactly what we were talking about, but like the other day I was going to draw for 3 or 4 hours, and then I was going to write some stuff for 3 or 4 hours, and then I was going to draw like that other thing that you just had up, the circular guy. I was going to spend some time and then not look at a screen for a while and just analog it and go to bed. And I just ended up drawing that one thing, the first thing, the whole day, all day. And I just got into it. I was just like, man, this is actually working out kind of the way I want it to. And that doesn't always happen. And I was stoked enough on it to like let it consume my entire day. But I definitely know what you're talking about. Like just drawing something and being like, yeah, I guess I'm going to fucking finish this. I could be doing something else, but like, yeah, I started this. I get like, I'm not nice to myself in that way, where like it's rare that I'll be like, don't bother, do something different. I'm going to fucking finish this thing, and I'm going to hate it at the end of it, but I'm going to look at what I did wrong or whatever and know that I can do it better afterwards and next time and whatever. And it's motivating in a way.
Well, like when I was talking to somebody who wanted to get into like creating art, like so they're basically at square one. And first question I was is like, do you want to actually get good, or do you want to just like have like a hobby where you're just having fun? Like a year from now, do you want to actually be better, or does that really not matter as much? Which I think is a fair question, because like, yeah,
absolutely.
Like you don't have to pursue it seriously. And then basically what I told him when he said, yeah, I do want to be better, I was like, for every day you feel like you're on top of the world and you're making progress, there should be about equal number of days where you're being humbled and you're realizing how much you still have to grow. It's like you have to alternate, because if you're being humbled all the time, you're like punishing yourself too much. But if you're also like, just like continuously feeling better about your art all the time, you're kind of just feeding your own ego and you're not truly challenging yourself. So it's like you got to really you got to be aware of that, man.
I will say that, like, especially with the magazine, like, because I can look at work that I love all the time. I could thumb through Bernie Wrightson and Vallejo and all kinds of stuff all the time if I wanted to. But like, people send me all kinds of work. I get crazy shit for the magazine. I do. I really, and it's cool. Like, you know, and I've definitely gotten work from people who, like, you know, it's like, all right, well, this one didn't make the cut, and they keep sending me stuff. And I'm so like, I'm just like, man, this is like, you're getting better. Like, you're doing stuff. Like, I can see, like, A, like, thank you for sending me anything at all. B, thanks for sending me something and it doesn't get used. And then you send me another thing and I'm like, okay, holy shit. Like, this is new. This is different. This is cool that, like, I'm watching a person that I don't fucking know at all just gradually get better through this, like, little thing. And you can see them trying out new techniques and trying out, like, something new to them and getting better in general. And I think that that's just really important, because I do also see artists that, you know, and I've seen this sent to me, but I see it online and whatever, people who do just draw stuff that's like, okay, it's right here. And yeah, it's fine. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't see you breaking out of that mold ever. Like, I don't see you trying something, you know, and that is frustrating to me, like, to do that, like, because I'm just like, yeah, drew another skull and a medieval weapon again, which I do all the fucking time. Like, I could do that. That's fun. It's fun for me. I love doing that. But every once in a while, I want to try just to see how frustrating it really is. I want to put myself through that and know what that's like. I want to try a different style and have it not work. And I want to know why. I got hit up for some designs for the front bottoms. And I threw them a few designs. And the one that they took was one that it took me maybe an hour to, like, finish it. Like, you know, really like clean it up and make it look good. But it was like sort of, it was meant to look like a New Yorker sketch. Right. And it was, but it was like a cat, and it's all just zigzaggy and kind of abstract and jazzy looking and stuff. I don't fucking draw like that, but, like, I was like, let's see what happens here. And they took that one, and it was great. And it made me feel good. They printed it at the print shop I work at. I work at Merch now. So I got to see it get made, and it was just cool. Like, it was like cool to see me, like, try something. And obviously, like, I was like, well, this line's out of place, and this could be over here, you know, and I'm not noticing these things until it's on the printing press. So, like, what am I going to fucking do about it? But, and that's always how it's going to go.
Yourself print it?
No, I print posters.
Okay.
I print paper goods there, and, but I work in the shop. So, and I work with the shop. So thankfully I can, you know, if I do a design, I can go out there and get my hands in there and just
That's cool.
bug them about it, really, and bother people, bother my coworkers about it until they tell me to leave.
Time on this one.
Yeah. You know, that looks a little, that pink is just wrong. Can you scrape off that screen and start over? No, I would not do that. It's also not. At a certain point, especially if it's not for, like, because, like, we printed this shirt there, and people will ask me about the designs and stuff like that. But, like, at a certain point, like, if a band bought it and, like, they're fronting the money, like, I want them to like it, and that's probably more important to me. For me, it's just like, yeah, it's okay, it's fine, yeah, it's all right. Oh, it's good, looks good. I'm way more concerned if, like, a client of mine is printing with us as well, and.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, let's show some art.
Okay.
I imagine that'll probably got like an hour left of this. So you've shown the magazine, but of course you got your illustration for issue 1, and then this one here on the right. So
that was a poster I did. I printed that poster, and it was, I was reconfiguring my poster press, And I was really trying. I was like, I know what I can do. I'll do a 2-color design and like try and fuck around with it. I have a ton of these, by the way, still, because I was really configuring it. But that was also another chance for me to like try and. I often like work in frames and put myself in like little boxes, and this was like a thing to not do that. Illustrator on the Right was fun. It was sort of something like I think my thing is like I'm always collecting references, and I will often just start like just digging through them. And I took a picture of, there used to be this like ceramic like Dracula castle. You know how people get like those like ceramic like Christmas town things? Oh, yeah. They make those for like Halloween-y shit too. And this one was like a Dracula's castle. And so like I use that as like a reference, and there's a very old picture of me doing that point. And I draw dragons pretty often, so I had a lot of fun doing that, but it was just for like the open call, and then I ended up making it into a poster just for shits. Most of my stuff is done just for shits at this point.
Hey man, you're expressing yourself.
Yeah, I guess.
And then for issue 1, had you already like done this design and then you used it for the zine, or you were like, this is the cover for?
This was very pointedly for the cover. Like I was like, one thing I'll say about Procreate, and you can tell from the way I designed this, is it has a wonderful feature called symmetry. Yeah. And you can do all, and one thing I am a huge stickler about as far as using the symmetry tool, and I catch a bunch of artists doing this shit, and it irks me to no end. And like, not that I think you're a bad artist or something, it would just kill me, like if I noticed it on my own work. If you use the symmetry tool and then you shade something and you shade both sides symmetrically, like it looks weird to me. I notice it like immediately. I think then that's just because like, I don't think clients notice it nearly as much as like somebody who does it all the fucking time, but that was like a thing where I was like, well, I drew this like complicated thing, and now I have to shade. Like it didn't take me super long to draw it with the symmetry tool, but now I have to shade every little bit of it asymmetrically. And
I think that's a smart choice.
It didn't come without its trials. Like I definitely plenty of the thorns are symmetrical there, but there are ones that I pointedly was like, nope, I'm putting an extra thorn over here, so it's not symmetrical. It can't be symmetrical. I can't let it happen. And that little castle in there is one that I've been using as like a sort of logo for a long time. Actually, I used to do these like little embroidered hats with like that little castle in there. And for like my first little thing, I felt like this is like a good first endeavor in there. And I'm still like kind of stoked about this piece, to be honest. I mean, obviously, like I said earlier, there's plenty of things I would do different, but
I mean, both of them are really strong, dude. The one on the right, I love how you did the arm and the drapery, with the hood and the cape, and the way it's folded over the castle. It's really, really good.
Do you? So speaking of old movies, there is a reference happening here.
Oh, yeah, over my head.
House. Actually, I think it might have been it was a poster for House, and Japanese it had movie? No, the one with that dude from not Christine, Carrie. Is about like a writer going into a house and it's haunted. I forget why he ends up. It's kind of a comedy. But it has like he keeps seeing like this guy that I think he like let die in Vietnam. And the guy is like all done up with like prosthetics and like kind of really goofy special effects and stuff. And the poster is of this guy like done up with like a bunch of like military gear and stuff, but he's all fallen apart and he's like kind of zombified, and he's draped over the house sort of like that in that way.
Okay.
So it was a little bit of it was a little reference there. And I'm actually only remembering that now. I don't think I've thought about that. Like I've seen this, I've seen, I have a ton of these posters in my office, and I completely forgot that was like a part of it until I start dissecting it this way.
So we got the issue 10 cover, which I just think is like super fucking cool, dude. I think my interpretation of it is probably gonna be different than yours.
But go for it. Let's hear it.
You want to hear what
yeah.
It's like sci-fi portal doorway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like design and illustration combined into one. I don't know what the purpose is though. It reminds me of like vintage sci-fi covers where it's like it's loosely related to the material in the book, but it's also like its own thing, which I always really like about that era. Was like the artists have a lot of it, or at least it seems that way. They had a lot of freedom at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of interpretation happening with like I feel like a lot of sci-fi artists doing stuff for the books, like they latched onto a like very small part of like the larger story, and then that would be the thing. And like sometimes it wasn't even like any type of like important part. Is just something that stuck out. This was, I like the idea of like a little portal bringing you into the Castle Jackal dimension or whatever, and just going in there, and I don't know what the purpose of those things are. I just sort of, it just pops up. What are those orbs that are being juggled? They could make or break your whole universe. I don't know. I did it and I'm like, oh yeah, like it sort of just happened that way. This is another one though, with the symmetry thing. I used a lot of symmetry in this, but then I purposely like made sure that I didn't. Like if you look on either side of that red door, those like that webbing that like,
right, it's different.
It's very different, but then like sort of the positioning of the arms and the other stuff that's flowing out, there is symmetry there, but like I will not allow it to be 100% symmetrical because it would bother me so much, because nothing is ever that way. There shouldn't be, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
You know what it reminds me of too is like really early Dan Seagrave painting. Like it's like really like 90, 91 stuff where it's like, I don't know. It just kind of reminds me of that a little bit more, like Monstrosity and Imperial Doom.
I'll have to check that out
too. But yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, it's like vintage death metal too, in a way.
Yeah, well, that's definitely. I honestly, when I was listening to that, or when I was doing that, I was listening to I wanted to say the Faceless, because they're that other band that did all the like very weird
like planetary duality.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It's the more recent one. Then they put out like an album that was like all just like swell sounds.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ! No, I'm gonna feel very bad about not remembering what band this is now. But anyway, yeah, all their albums are about aliens, and it's all just alien shit, and it's really fun. I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting the name of this band. It's going to come to me when we get like 4 images into it.
Yeah, just plug it.
I'll shout it out then, and we'll cut it in later.
Roughly, how many hours do you think it took to make this?
8, I think.
Yeah, you are very efficient.
That is the thing, is like, and I will say that like I've been better about this lately, but if I don't finish a thing within like a day or two, my normal mode is to be like, fuck this, I'm gonna erase it. Like, that's not how I am in the past like year or two, but there was a long period of time where I got so into like, if I don't execute this idea, I'm just gonna start hating it so much. And
another area where I'm opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really trying not to, and It's not like, it's an impulse that I have, but I do finish a lot of work very quickly because I'll be at work doing other stuff and I'll just be thinking about it like all day, and I'll just think about the steps and I'll just do it. And even if something's out of place in a certain step, I'll be like, it's good enough. I want to get this idea out. I mean, not for like client work and not for like the magazine, but if I'm just like drawing something to draw, like things that I just like post on the internet to make a fucking joke or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, good enough. It's fine.
With me, it's like I'm talking like a illustration that's going to be used by like a band or something. It's like every single one of them is like a project, and each project takes about 3 weeks to a month. Like, I only work on these big things, and it's hard for me to actually draw something and finish it in like 2 days. Like everything it's a big endeavor. It has multiple processes, and
I'm currently working on like multiple projects that are that, but there are a couple days a week where I just have to be like, nope, I'm going to spend the evening drawing. I'm going to finish something. I'm going to be done with it. I have an idea. It's just got to get out. I can't do anything else. Like I have to just do this thing and it needs to be done. And then I'll spend an hour or two on this like thing, and I'll probably hate it when it's done. But the long-term projects are important to do as well. For myself anyway. Like the client stuff, I'm like, typically like I'll like look back, like when I work on Acacia strain stuff, like Vincent will text me. Sometimes it'll be like a very short text, and sometimes it'll just be a picture, and it's like, what about this with this thing thrown in or whatever? And other times he'll give me a description, and all I have to do is like return back to that text message, like the original prompt, I guess is what we'd call it in the art world. And it levels me right back to like feeling inspired at the very least. And maybe it's just like somebody asking me for that rather than me circling around it in my head.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to have a blend of both personal and illustration work, in my opinion. Tell me a little bit about these.
This guy on the left, I've been loving drawing, and I don't know what he is. Like I just drew another version of him not long ago, and it was another like quick, like, this is a thing. I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to sketch this guy out and like see what I can build on. Right. And you always see these characters like that, like Frazetta's Death Dealer and stuff. You see them like eyes under the helmet. And I was just like, what if he's just a pair of teeth floating in there? And but I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with it. Like I kind of progressed it a little farther where like I gave him a sword in the next iteration. And I'm like, kind of like, is he just a shadow thing, like a floating pair of teeth, like in like a shadow thing? And I'm going to start building more armor. And I think like every time I draw a new version of this guy, like I'm going to give him like just a little bit more. You're going to see just a little bit more of his whole being. And who knows? Since I drew that, and I've drawn another version, and I've started another, like I'm just doodling at my desk, but thinking up ideas of like how to do a new one. Like I'm like, oh, I could do like a little short comic of this guy. And it would be fun, and it would just like I'll start giving him some kind of backstory or something, and I want to toy with it. But this was me. I downloaded, again, True Grit Texture Supply. I downloaded their chromograph pack, and it's all just like different pencil types. And I was just playing with it. I was just having fun with it, and that's what came out. And the thing on the right is very old. I printed that on a crew neck sweatshirt probably 7 years ago. And this was... That was, I think, even before I was using Procreate. I might have drawn at least a portion of that no, it was. I had Procreate because I recognized that lithotone That's another like pattern brush I use that I think also, again, true grit. I don't know where that came from. I honestly, like, I think I was just playing with barbed wire stuff and I just threw things together. Sometimes I just like will slap together textures because I just feel like playing with them. And this is something that came out. I actually love that design. Thank you. Did I send you this? Did I give you this one or did you find this one?
I mixed them all together. Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like I wouldn't naturally give you this one, but maybe I did. Yeah.
We talked about these a bit, so we'll go forward.
There we go.
I want to know a little bit about how Acacia Strain came to be and how that kind of started, as well as the designs.
You mean like my relationship with them?
Yeah, like when. So how long you been working with them?
Oh, probably around like 7 years or so. Wow. Maybe a little less, but I had a friend named Jay who worked with me, and he runs a thing called Dead End Threads, and he asked me to design a shirt, and the shirt was Garfield breastfeeding a skeleton on a rocking chair. I'm not kidding. It did not sell well. And it said, fuck the living, titty feed the dead, or something. I don't remember exactly what it said. It was something, titty feed the dead was definitely in there. And I was happy to draw it. And it was just a silly thing that he asked me to do. And he knows that I love Garfield, so I did it. I just drew Garfield with these big honkers. Nowhere near like how Dave Raposa. I don't know if you've ever seen Dave Raposa's like Garfield comics that he's done, but they're insane. And
I know he does like the like realistic, fantastical kind of like versions of stuff. Like I've seen like his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He
did like almost like a manga, but with Garfield, and yeah, it's intense. If you find a single image of that, they're all pretty insane. So I'll let you look for that. I feel weird trying to describe that one, but it's great. And somehow like Vincent saw it, and he and Vincent are friends. His Jay's brother runs a local game store called Forgotten Freshness. And Vincent will sometimes like do like little conventions with them. If you ever see that name anywhere, he might be running a table or something. And he hit me up. He started like following me on Instagram, and he bought a shirt from me. It was a picture of me holding my cat and saying, "Be kind to animals, you fucking loser." And then he asked to like buy one of my designs, and we've just been doing buds ever since. He'll just text me ideas, and sometimes I hit the mark, and honestly, like there are plenty of times I really don't. Like he'll and that's the same with like any client, but he's very good about like when it doesn't work, he's just like maybe not, and I'm like, all right, cool, like it's fine. But it's been a blast working with them and getting different ideas from them, because he always just hits me up. He's like, what about this? And I'm like, I will fucking try that. Hell yeah. I think most of my texts to his prompts are hell yeah. and it's because I'm genuinely like stoked about it. It's like every time. And this little guy in the middle here is something that is like a more recent thing. His name is Craig. Craig Scent. Crescent. Craig Scent. And I've done a couple things, like a couple designs with him on it, and it's been fun. And I'm working on some new stuff with that little guy, and I forget the name of that, like the Cuphead style. That like old, whatever that style is called. It's called like hose, like rubber hose or something. But that's outside of my normal.
Stuff's kind of hard.
It is. It's hard to get right. It's hard to get right. Like if something's just a little off, it's so obvious and it's hard, but it's a lot of fun. And yeah, like I said, I love Garfield. So two two designs that are like very like, I mean, the one on the all the way to the left there, that was a prompt from Ryan, who is, I think he's like I don't think he's their manager. I don't want to get that wrong. So,
part of the crew.
Yeah. Dog. His name's Dog, but that is his name. But he asked very specifically for this like swampy design of like a guy getting pulled down, and I wanted it to be like Swamp Thing, and I don't think I achieved that genuinely. I did it the way I wanted to do it. I did it in my style, but like, boy, I was looking at Swamp Thing shit so much, like doing this.
Greg Bissonette, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the artist who did it, or like he did the Alan Moore.
There have been many iterations. Yeah, I think I was probably just out of habit looking at the rights and stuff more. But yeah, that one was a lot of fun for me. But again, as with all my designs, I'm like, well, I could have done that background a little better. Like I could have done something there, you know. But that was a blast, and I got to see that one. And thankfully, like whenever they play like anywhere near me, I'll like try and go out and see them, and then I get to, you know, they get to see Stu at the merch table and see the shirts that are all there, and
that's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was at the Tune Low Die Slow, like so many kids were there, like just wearing old designs that I've done, and like I'm just seeing all these like Acacia strain shirts, and they all, like a lot of them were me, and it was weird. And I also was there like not wearing this bag on my head, so nobody knew. Nobody knew it was me until I got on. Yeah, I played Santa this past year for that thing, so I did have it on at some point. Yeah, the Garfield one, that was straight out of Vincent. Like Vincent was like, skeleton with a Garfield mask, please. And I was like, hell yeah.
You had the slippers there?
Yeah. I think I used a reference. There was a reference photo. Like I was trying to get like the shape right. And, you know, he's got those slippers on a lot. So. All
right. If it's cool with you, we're going to speed run the next 3.
Sure. Sorry.
Oh, no. I wanted to hear all that. That's perfect, dude.
Oh yeah. The guy on the right, was me again, just trying out some brushes and just like, I want to just like check some stuff out. I want to try and like do this thing that's not hard lined, and it's a little softer and it's kind of thresholdy. Then the thing on the left is actually a combo of 2 different designs that I've done, that I sort of revamped. So the outside frame is actually what's in issue 3 here. Same frame. And then I did this like kind of nasty, goopy dog guy a long time ago. And I just loved it. I loved getting in there and just doing all that detail and using like a single size marker for that and just having fun with it.
Yeah.
Next.
Cool.
Come on, let's go.
Nice,
Thank you.
Sick,
yeah, thank you.
The one on the left, dude, I feel like would be like perfect for a semi-crusty hardcore band. But like that'd be like a great design for it.
That did end up on a shirt at some point. It just had like just Castle and then Jackal in green. I think I did it on green tie-dye. That's the beauty of working in a print shop, is like, man, let me see about a dozen shirts like that, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. The one on the right. Thank you. The one on the left took me a lot longer. This is one of those ones where I was like, I'm going to dedicate like extra time to try and like get this thing out. And you know, if you really like zoom in on some of that stuff, like I was really putting in some some time, like making sure I did my colors the way I wanted to, but not too many colors type of deal.
Yeah.
Cause then I just get in the weeds. And then the one on the right, that took me no time. I was just trying to get something out. That was me just screwing around. I did that sketch so quick, and I love that one because this is one of those times that I was like, I don't really care about this.
Yeah.
And I,
together.
yeah. You can see, like, I'm using a fat liner there, and I'm just, and that was basically a sketch. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave the sketch. I don't need to fucking make this look like the thing on the left. I can just let it be what it is. And yeah. That was fun. That was fun to do.
It's kind of cool having them paired side by side.
You can yeah, thanks for putting them like that.
The two different approaches.
Yeah, that's important. And this, yeah. So the one on the right is for a band that it will not disclose yet, but they are one of my favorite bands of all time. And nice. They hit me up. I've been friendly with one of the dudes from that band, and he hit me up for this, and I was like, I'm going to do this thing. And what I've been doing is like pencil sketching a whole thing. And then I feed it through this like threshold thing. It's like process in Photoshop of kind of making it look more like a Xerox. So the finished product doesn't look like that. It looks like a Xeroxed version of that. Obviously, like with the name and the logo when they finally release it. But I had so much fun working on that. And that's a thing. Like, you zoom in on the eye, and I probably spent more time on that eye than I did anything else in that whole fucking thing. The thing on the left, that was also just like a whim. Like, I was like, I'm just gonna draw, like, I wanted this to look like an old zine that I found in the 90s. Which I have quite a lot of, and again, just bad, like, Xerox thing. Like, I always want it to look kind of fucked up. Like it's been run through a machine 10 times. And, obviously with the way things are lately.
Yeah. It's just
something like that was on my mind. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well,
is that 9 already?
Yeah.
There's 9 of them.
I mean, you did as you were told. Speed.
Thank you.
Oh man, this is a ton of fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Getting to know you, and I mean, your art's amazing, and just like all the different ways you channel your creativity and like foster connections in the community. It's really admirable, dude.
Hey, from one to another, man. You too. This is great. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. Well, tradition is you leave with one piece of advice to other artists. Not that you know the answers to everything, but like, what's one thing that you would like to part ways with in terms of just guidance for maybe artists who want to work with bands or do something cool?
I mean, I guess I'll just say, like, it's good to get frustrated. It's good. It's good for you. Like, do it and then work through it and just keep, push through all that frustration, because it's frustrating as hell. But it's good for you at the end of the day. It feels good when you're done.
Yeah. That's what makes it worth it, man. That's why, there's a shit ton of artists out there who, and I'm not opening up a whole nother conversation, but they don't use AI because that makes everything too easy, and it doesn't feel
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, here's
reasons, but
here's my advice: fuck AI. How about that? All the way.
Yeah,
done. 100%. Fuck it. Anyway, thank you.
Nah, I'm with you, man. Please, everybody, follow Jack Jackal, Castle Jackal on Instagram. Check out his band Carnwinin and Dungeon Crawler video, and please buy a magazine. He'll have like links, and I'll put links in the description. But support other artists, and that's it. See you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you.